TEP production. Giving out instruction. Hey. I just keep it intact, this is a fact, right and exact, I won't step back. Admiration is the feeling that inspires your brain to make you gain self-knowledge, not go insane. I'm Satan's antagonist, acknowledge what I speak. I cannot be duplicated cause I'm born unique. Brother Kareem told me if I want it, I gotta take it. Kareem told me if we need it, we gotta make it. Nasir just said stand up and be a man. You're planning to fail if you fail to plan. Keep your circle tight, know your plight, fight with all your might. Study hard, stay in shape and everything will be alright.
This beat is slapping, before I make it happen I just wanna ask, may I rise higher with fire, made brighter than May, sharp lines, may climb and rhyme and may timing like sirens, may my thoughts may spray as I sway, may play with the day, may each bar may spark from the dark, may making the arc, may I shift, may gifted with riffs, may lifted no myth, may move clean, smooth in between, may carving out the scene, may words guide my glide as the tide, may ride on the inside, may minds free, may deep in the key, may shape in the sea, may I shine, may prime in my rhyme, may throw in the sign, may break norms, may storms in the red form, may lightning is born.
Let's go.
Get your copy of Fire. It's definitely a must-read. If you enjoy hood books, this one is it. Just like the title of the book, it's officially Fire. Get it on Amazon, paperback or Kindle.
I don't know how I got here. I just know I'm never going back. Just when I thought things were already crazy, it gets worse.
I'm back.
Quan?
Sapphire struggles to deal with her husband's alleged betrayal and coming to terms with Quan being alive after thinking he was deceased. Devante tries to keep a level head while dealing with family issues and unexpected disloyalty. Memories of Dre enters Devante's life in a way that he would have never imagined.
Fire Part 2, the finale.
Peace. This is the enemy's public. I am Bro.Nasir. It's a beautiful Tuesday evening. I hope everyone's enjoying it. This evening, we're going to get into weapons of mass distraction. It's self-explanatory. I believe it is anyway, self-explanatory. Distraction being used as a weapon. Not telling the people the truth. Running away from accountability. That's the order of the day. My people are easily distracted, manipulated, and some of us don't realize it. Now, I was pondering this morning and I'm wondering, why were our people, some of my people, I know some of us are going to have pushback with what I say. but I'm only going to tell the truth of what I know that is the truth anyway. We are an oppressed, class of people, meaning that the government oppress us. I know some of us feel like we're doing good. And when I say people, I mean us in its entirety. Not some of us who think we're doing better than others and thinking that we have risen above the condition of our people. I'm not talking about you, because some of us think we've risen above the condition of our people. Now, we are an oppressed class of people. And I understand and I resonate with delineation, meaning that we prioritize our people and advocate for our people exclusively. The charity begins at home, then it spreads abroad narrative. I understand that. Salute to my brother Nwinji Skates. Thanks for tapping in. I understand delineation, and I'm with delineation because we should prioritize our people and advocate for our people as a priority. We should. But I don't like we as an oppressed class of people cheering on the oppressor as they oppress other people. We shouldn't be doing that. I will never side with my open and consistent enemy, no matter who they are against. I will never side with them. Never. Because we have domestic and we have foreign, what they call tethers. And I ask, as Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad asked, have you forgotten? That's what he asked. And then he said, we were robbed of our names, robbed of our language. We lost our religion, our culture, our God. And many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our minds. I know some people are going to say, I know what they're going to say about the God part. I know my people's thinking, but let me get to that. We were robbed of our language. Okay. We were robbed of our names. We were robbed of our culture and our God. Let me tell you how we were robbed of our God. We were told that a God was coming to save us. We were told that a God outside of ourselves is going to save us, instead of us looking in the mirror and beholding our Lord and Savior. So that's how we lost our religion, our culture, our God. And many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our mind. I understand that, because no one outside of ourselves is coming to save us and is going to save us. Our condition is ours and ours alone, and it's going to take us in a collective to affect positive change in our people. But I see my people cheering on as a oppressed class of people, cheering on the oppressors as that oppressor is oppressing other people. Under the guise of delineation, I'll never cheer. I'll never call ICE on someone because ICE is the enemy. I haven't forgotten who my enemy is. I'll never forget who my enemy is. I'm going to stay focused because more than one thing can be true. And I realize that we have enemies, foreign and domestic, and all around us. I realize that. I see that. And we must not lose focus. Still consistent with the title, weapons of mass distraction. We cannot be distracted by people they put before us who are saying that they're acting on our behalf. Now, foundational Black American. I know some of us don't rock with the term Black. It's not going anywhere. Yet, one thing that we need to do away with, which I jump off the bus when Bro.Nasir mentions this, that boat ride and deriving from Africa. He lose me with that part. Now, foundational, meaning that when you say something is foundational, that means that it was because when you start building something, when you build a structure, you start at the foundation. So that's why I rock with that word. Everything that's built starts with a foundation if it's a structure. Like even a business, you will see the sign on the door or on the window or even on the building, founded this year. I can get with that part, that founded part. I can get with foundational. Black American. But I can't get with when he start talking about ethnogenesis, being from Africa, deriving from Africa. That part I can't get with. Salute to my brother Milestone Thoughts. Thanks for tapping in. That part I can't rock with. Because if we are foundational, that means that's from the beginning. But I've always said, those who came here, if there's a such thing as someone who's coming here, if they were here for centuries, this is who they are, not that. And I do that for the sake of argument. If we were brought here, those of us who were brought here, if we were brought here in the 1600s, 1400s, 1500s, you're far removed from Africa. So I don't know why, even if some of us was brought here, I don't know why some of us still trying to hold on to that. That I don't understand. You're far removed from Africa, and you know you're not going to Africa. So we need to just stop that. I don't hate Africans. I don't hate Africans. No, I don't. But the tether class of Africans, or any other tether class, because there's tether class in more than Africans. So we need to understand that. Anyone who come here, disrespect us, undermine our efforts, take from us and not give to us, not taking from our culture and not putting in our culture, that's a tether. And every immigrant is not a tether. Every tether's an immigrant, though. We need to understand that. But we're going to get into weapons of mass distraction because we have to remain focused on what's going on in front of us and all around us. I was always taught what goes on abroad will eventually be at your doorstep. So be mindful of what's going on abroad, because we have evil people. When you put a coward who are evil, that is a terrible combination. Someone who's a coward and is given power, because power don't corrupt someone who has always had power, someone with a self-esteem, esteem that no one else can give you. That's why it's called self-esteem. Someone with a low self-esteem and never had power and is a coward, once they are given power, it corrupts them. Power will corrupt an evil person. And if he's a coward and he's evil and he get power, it's going to corrupt them. And when someone is used to not earning anything honestly, if they are given power, they're going to take, they're going to manipulate. They're going to be that same person with more power. And people are highly upset with Mr. Trump because the ignorant among the political parties put faith in him when they should have never put faith in a politician. Never. There's no such thing as a benevolent or a good politician. Poly is many and a tick is a bloodsucker. Politics. So there's no such thing as a good one. I've been saying that for over 20 years. Do not put your faith in a politician. And people try to get us to go out and vote for these people. Those who have gone out and voted and put their faith in this politician who they're upset with now because of the climate, outright lies, it's your fault. This is what you wanted. And some of my people are going to see in the near future also. Some of my own people is going to see that when a person has a nature, they're going to go and act according to their nature. And when you think they're not, you're fooling yourself. When you have natural enemies like the lion and hyena, that if it's your natural enemy, they're going to do anything to maintain their spot as your enemy, even if it's cozy up to you. So you could let down your defense mechanism. And that's what some of our people are doing, letting down their defense mechanism. And cozying up to the open and consistent enemy, trying to find a comfortable place in this society that's not built for us. It's a fine oiled machine, not for us. And because somebody give you a pillow on a bed of nails, you think you're comfortable and you're not comfortable. Now we're going to get into this. Weapons of mass distraction. Let me share my screen.
Conspiracy. Now, I wouldn't say if someone asked me, is Pizzagate real or not? You know, I wouldn't have said, no, it's not real. I think my answer all of these years was just
Fair use. Fair use. This video is courtesy of Kim Iverson. Fair use.
I don't know. I doubt. But the fact that I never researched it, the fact I never investigated, shows you that I didn't really take it very seriously until now. Now with the latest drop of Epstein files, the topics around pizza in these Epstein emails have come up numerous times, hundreds of times, in fact. But what has convinced me is Ben Swan, he's an investigative journalist, his reporting on this and me just happening to come across a couple of his segments that were posted on X. I follow Ben, he does really great work, and watching them. And now I'm convinced that Pizzagate is real, that there is this pedophilia ring involving using code words pizza.
That's been going on. Why is this doing this? That's been going on, and they always use something when there's a gate around something. They're trying to keep people from either seeing inside, looking inside, or coming inside. Gate. Whenever you hear the word gate, there's secrets when you hear the word gate.
And our government is complicit and not at all investigating it. But I want to show you a couple of the clips that I came across with Ben so that you can understand. And then I would encourage you to watch them in full for yourself. The links are down below to where you can watch that. But this is the first clip I came across just a few days ago.
Epstein is Pizzagate. Let that sink in for a minute. Jeffrey Epstein is Pizzagate. 10 years ago, Pizzagate was by far the #1 trending topic on Twitter. But the claim of pedophile elites who preyed on children was so insane that Pizzagate was shrugged off as a wild fever dream of a conspiracy theory.
Right. And that's kind of, you know, again, I'm not one to ever discount something unless I've done the research myself and I can actually discount it. But I certainly wasn't chasing this down either. So I see this and I trust Ben Swan. He's done a lot of really great work on a lot of topics, from Ukraine to Israel to many different topics. Ben has been really on top of, and I think he does really credible, really excellent work. So I saw this and I thought, wow, okay, let me look a little bit more into this. So I watched Ben's episode, and in it are these old clips from when he was working on a mainstream news channel, a local news channel, I believe. And let me just show you. And now this original episode, you can watch that whole thing. It's about 8-9 minutes long. This second clip is also, this is just a clip from it, but I want to show you what was aired years ago. This was in 2017. And I watched this one in full, which the link is down below. And that one really convinced me that Pizzagate is real. Here's a sample of that.
And to begin, I need to show you a 2007 unclassified FBI document. That document.
Salute to my brother T. Riddles. How you doing this evening, brother? Do a mic check before we proceed on.
Mic check.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, my brother.
Yeah, I love this.
You need me to stop it, just say so, and I will. But if you have any opening remarks, please do so.
Well, right now, Brother Nasir, I've always questioned this. You see how they got the 2007 FBI report thing on the screen? Like, why now all of a sudden did you give the public all the signs and symbols for us to look at. I found that very interesting that the FBI did that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, a lot of times, brother, they let let me tell you something. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan taught us that when the evidence come out, it's like peeling a onion. Okay, that's how the evidence come out. It's like peeling a onion back, and as you peeling that onion back, everything you see will bring you to tears, brother. As you pulling it back.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
According to the FBI, contains commonly used symbols by pedophiles to express their preference in children. I want you to see these images here. These are the images. Notice this one on the end, the triangle. That image signifies something called boy love. The pizza place next door to Comet Ping Pong Pizza, Besta Pizza, well, this was their logo until only a few weeks ago. Clearly, you can see that the Besta logo actually contains the same image, I'm going to show you again, as that boy lover image. Besta Pizza changed their logo, and there it is now. They removed the triangle. Also, Comet Ping Pong, owned by Alphantis, is the place where a number of performance artists perform regularly. Two of the groups that perform there, who you can see advertised, by the way, on this Comet Ping Pong poster, include a group called Heavy Breathing and another group called Sex Stains. Well, if you check out the YouTube videos by these bands, Heavy Breathing has songs that do joke about pedophilia, and the band Sex Stains has a video that includes, and you see it right there, that same boy lover symbol. It's nearly identical to the one that the FBI does say is a pedophile code symbol for boy love. As for the owner of the pizza place, James Alphantis, well, he was one time in a relationship with David Brock, who ran Media Matters for America. Well, since Pizzagate began to blow up online, he has made his Instagram profile, Jimmy Comet, private. But an archive search of Instagram reveals a number of strange photographs and words with strange and disturbing images associated with them. Look, to the point where we can't show you those pictures. We're not even going to describe them to you because some viewers would find it too disturbing to share on TV. Now let's talk about the Podesta brothers, because remember, it was John Podesta's email that was hacked. In those leaked Podesta emails, John Podesta talks about his close relationship with Dennis Hastert, the former Speaker of the House, who was recently sentenced to 15 months in prison for abusing boys years ago. He was referred to by the judge as a serial child molester. According to the Washington Post, visitors to Tony Podesta's home in Falls Church got an eyeful when they walked into a bedroom at the Podesta residence hung with multiple color pictures by Katie Grannon, a photographer known for documentary-style pictures of naked teenagers in their parents' suburban homes. Investigators have already proven there's nothing to the story, right? Well, actually, no. And that's what you need to know. For all that is here, there has not been one single public investigation of any of this, not from local police, not from the FBI, no one.
Ben, welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me on, Kim.
You've been doing some fantastic reporting on Pizzagate, and people for a long time calling you a conspiracy theorist. I mean, you have suffered a lot of, from your corporate job loss to reputational harm, all of these things, trying to expose this. And this is just, so the Epstein files, this latest release, I mean, this is a bit exonerating for you, highly implicating for all of these elites. I'm having a very difficult time. I got to say, I'm emotionally having a very difficult time, emotionally, intellectually, rationally, wrapping my mind around how grown adults could do this to children. I don't understand it. Like I can kind of understand how one lone person is a deviant doing something really awful when no one's looking. I understand how that might be, but I don't understand how groups of people could be involved in a pedophile ring, which is more than just one person.
And to be organized as a pedo ring. Organized. That's why the swamp would never be drained. because it's going to be so many people on so many levels in that swamp, and they'll never drain that swamp. If the swamp is drained, that would be the nail in the coffin in the American society itself, and probably global society, because there's no telling who's in it. But I can guarantee for certain that some of everybody in it on different levels in different professions, from legislators to clergymen to doctors to whoever. I know for certain you'll find some of them in those files.
Yeah, and it bothers me sometimes when I hear people say what she just said. Oh, it's so unbelievable that a lot of these groups of people can come together and conspire against people. Yes, yes. People
Well,
in high places will
it's easy
conspire.
for us though, brother. It's easy for us. It's easy for us to believe it. Why? Why is it easy for us to believe that people will come together and conspire against other people?
Because it's happened to us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It
you know,
happened to us.
I was watching, quick like a quick little breakdown. I was just watching the congressional hearing, and the doctor saying it's unbelievable that all the doctors all around the world would all come together and say the jabby wabby is bad or whatever it is. Like, huh? Like, don't you understand that these people have cribs, college fees for their children, all sorts of things? Do you think they want to get exiled of doctorhood? No. So it was just like to hear people say that. It's just like, wow. So you don't know what world we're living in, do you? It's
You
crazy.
know, acting like they're naive is worse than being naive, brother. It's worse. That's actually worse than being naive. Behaving like you're naive, but these people know better than that. They know better, brother. Let's get back to this.
Yeah.
Person doing things when people aren't looking. This is an entire group of elites that it looks like this latest batch of Epstein files is really showcasing even more. Are we learning more in this latest 3 million release about Pizzagate than what you've already reported in the past years?
I don't know that we're learning more about it. I think we're learning more about how far the tentacles expand, right? How far they go. And I think that there are people who are being added to the list of these pedophile rings, including Jeffrey Epstein, who up until this point, like, people knew he was a pedophile. But as somebody recently said to me, he's been kind of treated as if, well, they were barely underage girls that he was bringing to the island. That is not the case. That was also some of his victims, absolutely. But he was pretty broad in his deviancy. And so, yes, there were, barely underage girls, and then there are very, very young children. And I think the way you have to kind of look at the story is there are rings, if you will, right? There's the outer ring, the widest ring to the Epstein story are all the celebrities, the actors, the athletes, everybody who knew him. Right? That seems to be everyone, by the way. Everybody seems to have a picture with this guy. And so there are a lot of people in that. Now, is everybody whose name shows up or everybody connected to him a pedophile or involved in
Everybody that's in a picture with him is a pedophile. You can't say that. But when someone is adamant about the cover up, that person has something to hide when you're adamant about not releasing the files. And then the first order of business when Donald Trump returned to office, because they were getting real close, was to take diversity equity, and inclusion, DEI, and changed the whole narrative of what DEI is. Changed the whole entire narrative and the whole entire meaning of what DEI is. And he started terminating qualified people and putting incompetent, unqualified people in these positions. He went from diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, to turning it into didn't earn it. He changed it to didn't earn it from diversity, equity, and inclusion. And again, the sister who was the top National Guard officer, she was fired when she just recently got the job. The brother who was top brass, top soldier in the military, got rid of him. Put Kash Patel in charge of the FBI, Christy Nome in charge of the Department of Homeland Security. Neither one of them are qualified. Christy Nome, she wasn't as much as a security guard. She had no experience in law enforcement, but she was running the Department of Homeland Security. That makes Donald Trump further incompetent by appointing someone who's incompetent and unqualified. It makes him incompetent. And we wonder why, planes are running into fire trucks at LaGuardia Airport in New York. Incompetent people in the air traffic control. It's telling, this happened last week. Told, it's crazy. Peace to my brother, Big Dog Philly OJ. Told and cleared the plane on the runway. Cleared the plane on the runway and then cleared the fire truck to go across the runway. And the damn plane ran right into the damn fire truck. That's incompetence. And almost immediately after he got back in office, a plane ran into a helicopter. Almost immediately after he got back into office. So he's terminating all these qualified people and putting these incompetent people in positions, and incompetent people who he can control. No one should have. I think the president should just be the president. He shouldn't be in charge of all these agencies. No one should be in charge of all these agencies. Director of Homeland Security, decide who that's going to be. Decide who's going to be in the military. He never came up through the rank and file. He decide who's going to be the top soldier when he was never a cadet. That's stupid.
Yeah.
That is stupid.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
He wasn't much as a cadet, but he could take and fire a lieutenant colonel, a colonel, a major. He can fire anybody in the military. He wasn't as much as a cadet himself, but he can fire people. Career soldiers. And then FBI agents who were doing their job, investigating him, all of them were fired. Retaliatory terminations. Every FBI agent that ever investigated him was terminated. Kash Patel did it. I hope I'm around to see all of their karma. I hope I'm around to see them be punished. Every last one of them. Cash Patel, Christy Nome, all of them. Pam Bondi. I hope I'm around to see all of them punished.
Oh yeah, you will, brother Nasir. You will.
Against the law, against the people, bro. I want to be around to see all of them go down.
You will, brother. You will, because
yes, sir.
I can guarantee it. I bet my soul on this. Because this cleanup operation that needs to take place, as you're stating here. Putting incompetence in these places of power. That should no longer ever really happen. No longer. Even and this infiltration of America, right? Because it's happening in the top places. And then if these higher ups can actually clean up, like, you just can't do this. Like, you really can't. And I think that, if they don't clean up, not only are the people going to revolt.
Yes, sir.
There's certain things, that people can do, to make life very disturbing for these higher ups. So, thank you for letting me speak on this, brother Nasir. You know what I'm saying? Sir. Because, people listen to your channel, guaranteed, because you have this military revolutionary thought process. So eyes are on you and anyone that talks like us. So I just want it to be known that, look, higher ups, clean up, or you will be forced. And that force, what you're saying, this karmatic force, it's nothing nice to experience. And I'll leave it at that.
And we outnumber them, brother. The people who are in charge need to understand that once the people get tired, that karma is going to be terrible for them, because, for one, the trained men and women in the military, you're not going to be able to control them. They're going to be your worst. Can you imagine, brother, if the military turned on these corrupt ass politicians and legislators?
Yeah.
If the military turned on them, and then you got another 300 million plus people turning on this government because they're so damn corrupt.
Yeah.
It would be nothing they can do. Who you going to drop a bomb on? The people who are doing the bombing and doing the military actions are against you now, because you're misusing them and using them as economic hitmen all over the world, using them as thieves and pawns in your game.
Yeah.
They're pawns, political pawns, corporate pawns in their game. It's a game to them. It's like a video game to them. They're posting videos and bragging about the destruction they're doing all over the world, bro. It's all over the world, but in particular, they're talking about Iran now. It's like a video game to them.
Yeah. And what was that? Because you're talking about the military. What was that thing that you told me the other day, where there's a rule that, hey, if the order is inhumane, you're supposed to break that.
You're supposed to. You're not supposed to adhere to unlawful orders. You're not supposed to adhere to that.
Yeah. See, that's what you're talking about. I think that is a possibility of happening. Very possible.
I mean, brother, the morale in the military is very low. I mean, I would think it would have been low a long time ago, being that who the commander-in-chief is. If I was in the military, brother, I would find it very hard to salute somebody like Donald Trump when he's coming off Air Force One. I would find it hard to salute. I would probably flip him the bird when he come off the plane.
I tell you what makes it. I would, if I was a soldier, looking at all the other veterans that don't get taken care of.
Definitely. That's where you're going to be at. That's where you're headed as a soldier. If you're not,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And hearing, I was just listening to a commando, you know, from England, right? And there's two commandos. I was listening to that, and they were breaking it down of how, you know, the depression, the alcohol, not wanting to live anymore, and you know, they found the divinity within them, you know, and it was just hearing that,
brother.
You know, because you know, we know what they say when you know, because I know you spoke to killers also, and then they tell you people that take a life, right? That soul,
Yes,
you'll
sir.
never forget that soul. That
Yes,
soul
sir.
will always come to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, could you imagine how many? Say you just took out a whole village, yo.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine the type of person who don't feel nothing when they find out they killed 200 school-age girls in a school? Imagine a person who don't even feel that. Can you imagine a person don't even feel bad about killing over 70,000 people? Benjamin Netanyahu. Can you imagine that type of person, that level of evil, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. And what look.
I mean, the American government has always been corrupt. But Donald Trump is taking it to a new level of corrupt. A new level of corrupt. And
You can
what's
say
crazy about it, I said it earlier before you arrived.
Mm-hmm.
An oppressed class of people is cheering on the oppressor as they oppress other people. I don't rock with that. I'll never cheer for them, bro. I would never side with the authorities because why? Because they don't justify being the authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't justify being it.
Yeah, look, yes, you're so right on that, yo. That's deep right there, brother Nasir. That's really deep. You know, and this is happening. Look, it's all the governments all around the world. I think now with Trump, it's more in our face now. Like there's no denying it now. Like there should be no mystery that let's just take Candace Owens, and there was another guy named David something, like, and they've got their little group, and then they come up to say, huh?
Candace Owens she's been on their head, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, whoa. I seen a video that she was on the other night, brother, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Like, because, and this is why I like Candace, right? Right? Because just as all of us here, all of us listening here, we had to go through the steps of deconstruction. Like we didn't know all of this stuff that we were talking about, let's say when we're in our 20s, yo. We were thinking that, man, America's, man, we're the bomb. We're the best country ever. Everything was mashed.
Not for nothing, brother.
Yeah.
I've had this mindset about the United States when I was about 19.
So you're just a special breed.
When I was about 19, I was 20 in my 20s. Brother, I've had this mindset ever since, and you know, it's because of being in the rank and file, brother.
Yeah.
I've had this mindset for a long time, well over 40 years, bro.
Yeah.
Because watching the United States, you know, and getting information from, of course, the minister and other brothers, and just watching my surroundings.
Yeah.
And for myself, and not allowing the propaganda machine to propagate lies to me, and not just understanding that news, NEWS, it's never ending white supremacy. NEWS, brother.
That's the real news, huh?
I understood that a long time ago, and that media is multi-ethnic destruction in America. They don't care about nobody.
Yeah,
they don't care about nobody.
Yeah. No, and you know what, brother Nasir, that's interesting you say that, right? And you said 18. and I totally feel you on that, right? Because my little spiritual walk started young, where I was questioning everything. Do you know what I mean? But at when I was 20, I wanted to play in the NFL at that point. I thought I was going to the league. you know, so yeah, man, that's being aware of your surroundings at such a young age. Yeah, that's
Getting certain books, brother. Behold the Pale Horse, and different books. You know what I'm saying? I was introduced to the occultic practices and the Illuminati stuff, and I was introduced to that a long time ago. A lot of these cats is just, that's why they don't understand, because they're just getting into it. They just started studying it. But it was like some of these cats weren't even born, bro. Some of them weren't even born, and I knew about this stuff. And I tell them all the time, if we know about it, they moved on.
Yeah.
That secret society is not a secret anymore.
Yeah.
If we know about it, it's not no damn secret. And again, consistent with the title, Weapons of Mass Distraction, they will, distract you with one thing from another. They got us, our people, being suspicious of each other, not trusting each other, because they think some people actually think that some of these entertainers can join the Illuminati. They actually think that they can join the Illuminati. They could be used by them. They will make these people rich and use them until they become an old tool. And you know what happens when they're done with their tools? They break them. I don't care how much money you get. They'll either bring you to ruins or an accident will happen.
Yeah.
You will not be passing that on down to your damn family. Generational wealth is a unwritten law that we are not allowed to have. Bob Johnson had an empire, BET. When they say make you an offer you can't refuse, take that literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Brother Nasir, that's with looking at all of the really great brothers in our time that were trying to bring us awareness, from A to Z, right? Of all the brothers there, I've always wondered that, like, how spiritual were they? Like, because this is very important, Brother Nasir. Because I say this a lot, because we're at this point, what you just said, that, hey, listen, when they can take you out and not give a damn about you.
Bro, you're right, because you look at a man who marveled the whole world, and he couldn't go nowhere on this whole entire planet, and nobody didn't know him. They killed him like he was nothing, brother. They killed Michael Jackson like he was nothing.
Nothing.
It's a man who he can't go nowhere. He couldn't go nowhere and not be recognized. Can you imagine that, brother? You no matter where you go in the world, people would know who you are.
Like, even African tribes don't even have music radios knew who Michael Jackson was.
Exactly. Killed the Prince, brother, like he was nothing. Whitney Houston, like she was nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, bro.
Yeah.
So they don't care about nobody.
Yeah. Shouts out to the Jackson family too, man. I been put in that position. I just hearing the story with the Jacksons, and how they all had to basically look, they had to get involved now. They had to play the game.
I mean, that's the truth. I mean, but being a savvy businessman, let me tell you one of the worst things that you can do to an evil person, trying to outsmart you. The worst thing you can do is outsmart them.
Yeah.
They don't take too kindly of that, brother.
They don't like that.
They don't like that. And that's why the brother is in prison right now in New Jersey, Diddy. They don't care about him messing with, doing the things he was doing. They don't care about that because they're the same damn way, brother.
Yeah.
They don't care about that. But the fact that he sassed them, he came at them about his money with the liquor company.
Yeah.
Problem, bro.
Yeah.
Nigga, we made you and you can do this. Stay in your place. This is a humiliation and a humbling for him.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
All of them the same way. And because they are the power structure, he get punished and they don't. That's how it goes. It's their rules, brother, because they're the power structure. The ones who was involved in bringing him down are the same damn way, bro.
Yeah. And look, brother Nasir, look, we know that, when we tell the youth, hey, listen, don't let none of this racist thing get to you, keep striving to be the best and da 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 da. But even in the higher ranking realms here, racism is prevalent. Okay.
Order of the day, bro. I mean, you won't. I won't say you will be surprised. What I'm saying is, it will flip you out how nice some people are to you who really don't like your ass.
Yeah.
Who are really, if they could, they'll do you harm.
Oh, look, brother Nasir, I just had a crazy thought. Could you even imagine if Epstein, this guy was a brother?
I mean, I wonder. You know what it was. As far as him being arrested, it's falling on your sword. Somebody has to fall on that sword, and they got to put a name on it and a face on it. They have to do that.
Yeah,
they have to do that. Like they're trying to put a face on the Mann Act. Mr. R. Kelly trying to put his face on that when they've been doing that for so long. Been doing it for so long. And they're doing it on a much, sophisticated evil level because they're transporting minors, to other islands and stuff, to islands. And then they had a recruiter who's a female.
Yeah.
So, these weapons we got to remain focused and look at both hands, watching the shoulder flex. When you in a fight, brother, you watch both hands, both feet. You watch everything, and it's got to watch everything when you are in a battle.
Yeah, the shoulder flex. Yeah,
it.
You got to see that flinch.
You got to see that flex. I mean? You see the shoulder flex. He doing something, throwing a punch or something. Better watch it.
Right. And but before you play this, right? Last thing for me, I just recently watched the underground tunnel systems in the United States.
So many, brother.
My God. Americans didn't build that. All of these sophisticated tunnel systems in every single damn state underneath all of these city halls, all of these libraries, all of these towers, all of these cathedrals. America didn't build these tunnel systems. This was already there. So now taking
You mean
look,
the establishments didn't do it?
right,
The
right,
establishment didn't do it.
right. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Because a lot
And
of our people can't distinguish. We don't have that. They don't have that ability to distinguish. Okay, we're Americans. We're from the soil. This is our land. They don't know how to distinguish it from the establishment that they're called the United States of America. It's not us. And some of our people are claiming it. And they're using the possessive pronoun to describe what United States is doing not in Israel, in Iran, saying we're doing it. We're not doing a goddamn thing. They're doing it. And guess what? You're not going to benefit from what the hell they doing. So why are you saying we're doing it? Well, none of us is going to benefit from. You know who's going to benefit? Corporate America is going to benefit from what they're doing in Iran. Corporate America.
Yeah.
It's not us.
Yeah.
It angers me when one of us refer to what they're doing and they're cheering on death and destruction. I can't cheer on death and destruction. It's as stupid as you say you don't like war, but you're going out and you doing the same damn thing. You bombing shit and killing people. Just as bad as the person you just despised. If you're doing that,
yeah,
just as bad as that person.
Just as bad.
I'll never cheer on death and destruction. They killed children, bro. Over there on the Gaza Strip, brother, over 70,000 people. And it's probably more than that, but on record, over 70,000 people was killed in that conflict with Israel and the Palestinians.
Now, is this true, Brother Nasir? Is this true, Brother Nasir, that before this Iran battle started, right? Is it true that because there was the protest? I remember there was a Persian protest out here in LA before this war. It was kind of recent, and everyone was upset that the Iranian government unalived like 40,000 people or something like that. Do you know if that's true or not?
You know, coming from mainstream America media, I can't believe it, because the first thing they do when they want to not go to war with you, bomb you or mistreat you or do whatever they want to do to you, the first thing they do, they start with the propaganda machine. They got to paint you as ugly first in the eyes of the people, in the eyes of the world. They don't even change how they do stuff, bro. They don't even change how they do it. When they want, they have to discredit you and paint you as the villain first, because they can't just go and do it unjustifiable. So they justify it with propaganda. I can't believe a damn thing American media says, because they'll lie and it's state sponsored, because they don't even report on what the hell this nation does. They're very critical of other nations, but they won't say, wow, this is terrible what the United States is doing to this other country. They won't report that. Fair and balanced, though. They say they're fair and balanced, but the news is one-sided, and they have templates. All the news stations report the same shit.
Yeah.
Salute my brother Looney Tunes. I don't understand how my brother Looney don't got no damn wrench. That's some bullshit. Got one now, though. Looney Tunes.
Salutes, Looney.
You know, brother, that's the first thing they do. Is they paint you in the eyes of the people to justify what they're going to do. They start with the propaganda first.
Yeah, that propaganda worked because that protest down here in LA, that means all the Persians, because we got a very large population of Persians here in LA.
Can I say something to you, brother? Can I say something to you before you move on, brother?
Yeah.
Propaganda runs deep, brother.
Yeah.
And it's easy to put a camera, okay, and then say something, painting a narrative, okay? Oh, they're protesting this or they're protesting that. That's what the news do. They'll point the camera and they'll give a narrative. They'll paint a narrative. Not necessarily what's really going on. And our people are so used to being propagated, and some of us are entertained by it. And they use music to throw you off, narratives to throw you off. That's why a lot of times when I'm watching TV, I turn it the hell down, brother. If I want to get what I'm seeing as opposed to what I'm hearing, that's a trick bag, brother. When they start putting music and then some of the dialogue don't even be consistent with what's going on. Sometimes you gotta turn it down, especially the news, bro.
Yeah,
because they'll paint a narrative that's not even going on. Like, I forgot what was going on at that particular time. They're talking about how they were talking about how the stores are empty, shelves are empty in the stores. And they were showing old footage, bro.
Yeah.
That they'll show old footage, or it could be a protest against this country, but they'll say it's against that country. By just painting a damn narrative, bro.
Yeah.
And not only that, they also have provocateurs, and they also have professional protesters who they pay to go protest. They don't Rupert Murdoch and all these people, propaganda is when it comes to war, it's levels of war. The top is the weapons. Okay? You know what's under the weapons? Right under the weapons? Propaganda. They spend more money on the propaganda. First is the weapons, then it's the propaganda. They spare no expense when it comes to the weapons and then the propaganda.
Yeah.
Levels to war.
Yeah, and money's not an option. I mean, not a worry. So, yeah, they can spend the resources, the unlimited amount of resources they have access to. I mean, yeah, it works like a charm.
Exactly. And that's the very first thing they do is they propagate it and they beat the war drum with propaganda. Donald Trump didn't do that though, bro, because if he would have went to Congress, which he was supposed to do to get the okay to go to war, because if he'd have went to Congress with this, he wouldn't have made it make sense. They'd have told him no. Congress would have told Donald Trump no if he had gone to them. If he'd have followed the proper channels to go to war. He was to get congressional approval for war, which is he broke a law. And on top of the war crimes he's committing, he broke the law. It's supposed to go through Congress. They would have told him no because he wouldn't have made it make sense, because it doesn't make sense. If you said you obliterated Iran's chances of developing nuclear weapons back in June, why are you going over there in March?
But that's a dangerous. Just thinking about that. I think that's right. You have to ask Congress. You have to ask someone that you can go to war. But if you ask someone, I think that has to be done privately, right? Because you don't go on the public thing and say, "Hey, okay, look, we want to go to war." That kind of.
But not only that, though, bro. Even at even at the State of the Union address, he could have tried to sell the war to the American people then. But if he would have said that, he wouldn't have made it make sense. He couldn't have made that make sense, regardless of who he told it to. But he got people around him that's not going to question him. They're that afraid of him because he's a bitch, man. He's a vindictive bitch. He's more vindictive than any woman could be, bro. You know my statement, bro. You know how I feel. A woman is not a bitch because she behaves like a woman. A man's a bitch if he do. He's vindictive. He's retaliatory. You can't contradict him. Even if he's lying, he won't allow you. If you contradict him, he's going to terminate you. He's going to get rid of you if you contradict him. If you say he's lying and he could be caught in that lie in front of everybody, he'll blame you and get rid of you. But he loves taking the credit for shit he didn't do. He'll do that in a heartbeat. He'll take the credit for some shit he didn't do. He don't mind, taking the credit for something. Let's get back into this, brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I think it's not only nonsensical to say so, it's disingenuous to say so. But there's a smaller circle outside of that, wider circle. There's a smaller circle of people who did go to his island, who went to his ranch, who were connected to him, and maybe did meet with young girls who were just barely underage. I think you have a ring of those. And then you seem to have a smaller, tighter, more intimate ring of what you would call kind of the pedophile elites, who really were not just targeting very young children, but it's ritualistic in the way that they do it. And so that's where it becomes connected back to the concept, the idea that surrounds Pizzagate, right? Because Pizzagate isn't just about pedophilia. Pedophilia, and by the way, when we say rings, this is one specific ring of one specific group of people who would consider themselves to be elite. I hate the term elite, but that would be the way they would view themselves, right? But there are, pedophile rings all over the world, operating in every single country.
She hitting on some good things. That's the way they see themselves. Like when people say white supremacist, people would say, some of us would say, which justifiably, nobody's superior over me. That's the truth. But white supremacy is a mindset. That's a mindset. They think superior over people for no reason. They don't have to be superior. They don't have to do nothing superior. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to stand on nothing. They don't have to do anything. Or they think all they gotta do is be white, a social construct, and that makes them better than people. It's a mindset.
Country in the world. Down from the people who are in their basements and communicating with each other on Tor browsers, to people who were on Backpage before it was shut down, communicating there. People on 4chan and 8chan who were communicating there. And so you have lots of different rings. But I want to mention something you said at the beginning. You said it's difficult to wrap your mind around the idea of a ring of people doing this, maybe just the lone person who does it on their own. What I would say is that if you study kind of pedophilia and sex trafficking and human trafficking at all, what you find is they never operate alone. In fact, it seems to be the kind of thing that demands.
He hitting on some good things, because let me tell you something, my brother T. Wriggles. This behavior, and even when they do mass shootings, they'll say this person was a lone wolf. No, that person was a part of an organization. They say they're a lone wolf because they don't want to expose the organization. Hitting on some good things here.
Yeah, hit really good things. And he just mentioned, what he's talking about, what I just mentioned earlier. And what I like about what he's saying too, he's using the ring concept, right? And this ring concept is also in Freemasonry too.
Yes, sir.
The philosophy is the ring around rings around rings. So when he said that the middle basically ring, and I don't like calling them elites either. I mean, I really don't, but for argument's sake and conversational purposes, these people in this inner ring, this core of people.
If you look at the sign for Target, that's what that's about.
Right. Yes.
You ever
Yes.
see Target? That's what
Yes.
that's about. Ring
Yes,
around
exactly.
around ring.
Exactly.
The inner rings. Yep.
And it's messed up that the outer rings are really doing the work for the inner rings, and and I'm not knocking masonry like that. I think masonry is good for some people. If you're on the outer ring, yeah, it's good for you. You continue doing your craft. You can have your fellowship, your brotherhood, like-minded people. They're not out to rule the world. You know what I mean? Or cast spells on you. It's just
inside that ring, the more corrupt you are.
Yeah.
But you'll never get, that dot inside that ring of the target.
Yeah.
You'll never get there.
No. You have, and you know what that dot to me kind of symbolizes? That dot is, because since it's target and it's red, and so it's about the blood. So that dot, if you're not part of this bloodline, you can't get in, so.
Yes, sir.
Demands and draws in groups of people who delight in finding others to participate in this with them. And so there's many different kinds of groups, many different kinds of rings and networks of pedophiles. They all seem to have the need to communicate with each other, to have some kind of interaction, to share images with each other, to share experiences with each other. And then the ones who are at the very top, if you want to call it that, these elite pedophiles, they're the same way. They're the same animal. They're the same kind of deviant person, where they seem to have this desire to email each other and to talk about it and to brag about it and to share stories. And I think that's what we're really learning through the Epstein files, is that it's not just that Pizzagate is more than we had thought it was, but we're getting more insight into the communication and the way that these people interact with each other. And as I said, they seem to delight in it with each other.
How many times was pizza mentioned in the latest batch of Epstein files?
911 times. At pizza
Adults
or pizza parties.
talking about pizza.
Yeah, but I want to actually make a point on that too, because again, the investigator in me, right, when they started looking at the Epstein files, if you look at the timestamps and look at the dates, it's very interesting. If you go back to the original Pizzagate story, right, which came out of the John Podesta emails, the WikiLeaks disclosure of those 50,000 emails in 2016, his emails that were being accessed that discussed pizza and handkerchiefs and all that, bizarre stuff, were from 2014, 2013, 2012, 2010. If you go into the Epstein files, those 911 emails that discuss pizza all go back to 2014, 2013, 2012, 2010. It's the exact same time frame. Why is that significant? Why is it significant that suddenly, if you search those files, emails from 2017 or 2018 or 2019 don't talk about pizza anymore? I actually think that's because of Pizzagate, because of people like me and others who exposed it. We actually forced them to change the way they talk. Now, they didn't stop talking. They didn't stop doing the things they were doing, but they changed the language and the coded language. And I think that's why we only have 911, because I think at a certain date and time in history when Pizzagate became known and they realized that, people like me were saying, these are the words they use. FBI acknowledges that these are code words used by pedophiles. They changed the words.
So we don't know what they switched the word to if they're not using pizza anymore.
No, we actually don't. But what you do find, and this is what I'm now starting to look into, is that there are other descriptions of food that start popping up. So, for instance, there's a reference in an email to Epstein having on his island 2 leftover steaks that are already on the island, and if he wants more. And so exactly what words they're using, that's what we're starting to kind of dig into and what they started to use. But, you know, we certainly know they didn't stop doing what they were doing. They just stopped using words like pizza and cheese.
It's evil, outright evil. I want to move on from this, and I'm going to go to the next video. Epstein survivors sue the Department of Justice and Google over the release of private information of theirs. The victims. That's crazy.
Yeah, this is wild, man. That gentleman brought up a good point of how, okay, that's good. You made them switch up the language, but that's it. Like sometimes
sex offender Jeffrey.
Sometimes when people are, I don't know, that these. Don't get me wrong. I love conspiracy theories. You know, I love the tinfoil hatters. Man, shouts out to all you tinfoil hatters out there. You know, but when things, you know, if we can't stop something, what are we doing? Like, it's just like you almost want to sound smart. Like, it's like egoish. I'm the one who, you know, discovered this, and, you know, I made them switch up. So what?
Yeah. I'd rather get a damn militia and go stop them from doing what they're doing.
Man.
Because that's evil, bro. That's outright evil.
Yeah, that's evil. This is evil.
With the Trump administration and Google, the class action lawsuit is over the alleged disclosure of personal information from the Justice Department's release of the Epstein files over the past few months. While the government later withdrew the personal information from the publicly released files, survivors say it was too late. They say their info continues to show up in search results and AI-generated content. We reached out to the DOJ and Google for comment, but have not heard back. Let's bring in NBC News senior justice reporter Ryan Riley. And Ryan, tell us more about this suit, specifically why Google is involved and where the suit goes from here.
Yeah, you know, there was a lot of websites that basically replicated the release of the information from DOJ, putting it in other formats. And so all of that is still sort of out there on Google because a lot of that information was initially published by the Justice Department. It's accessible in other formats. And so that's essentially what this lawsuit is focusing on, trying to get some change from Google and make sure there are some financial penalties in the plaintiff's view to encourage them to stop this sort of thing from happening in the future, Christine.
What else are the survivors seeking here with this lawsuit? What are they saying?
Yeah, we have a statement, part of the lawsuit here that says that the victims here were suffering from renewed trauma, and that strangers call them, they email them, they threaten their physical safety and accuse them of conspiring with Epstein when they are in reality Epstein's victims. And so what they're arguing here is that because this information continues to be published online, this is causing them additional stress and trauma. And obviously the Justice Department faced a lot of criticism for their handling of the release of the Epstein files, and the Justice Department contended that it was sort of an unrealistic deadline that they had to meet up with what Congress had mandated.
I just thought about something as I was looking at the Robert F. Kennedy building, Brother T. Riggles.
Yeah.
Robert Kennedy Jr. is in close proximity to Donald Trump. I'm just wondering how you felt about Donald Trump putting his name above his uncle's name in those buildings, brother.
I really don't care.
I don't either, but I'm just because this is not this is a slight on Robert F. Kennedy because he's a sellout. He sold out because he was on their neck about the Jabberwocky at one time. And it's also at the same time a slight on Donald Trump with his ego, thinking buildings should have his name on it. I wouldn't put Donald Trump's name on a damn porta potty, bro. His name don't deserve to be on a goddamn porta potty. It doesn't.
Yeah, this is the dirty game of politics, I guess. You know?
Yes, sir.
They do, which is release all of these Epstein files. They had hundreds of attorneys working on it, but obviously a lot of information ended up getting out there. The Justice Department did try to get some of that and pull some of that back after it was released, but the consequences of that information being released in the first place are pretty far-reaching here, Christine.
All right, Ryan Riley, thank you.
We thank you for watching, and remember,
we're gonna move on to Ted Lieu. He's doing a deposition. He's grilling Kash Patel about releasing the files and the cover up.
Yeah, I got something with that, Brother Nasir. Like, how are let me get this straight. But the people, it was the people adding pressure to get the files out. Right?
I mean, if it was up to the government, they'll just totally cover it up. You know what I'm saying? They'll just totally cover it up. I don't know. Something doesn't. I don't think they care about it because nobody wants to drain the swamp. Donald Trump campaigned on a whole lot of stuff, bro. Drain the swamp. He campaigned on ending wars and not starting them. That's one of the main things. We would not get America into another war. We're going to end wars. I'm going to be the peace president. And I guess because he didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize, he said, fuck it. I'm going to just do a whole bunch of death and destruction. They want to give me the Nobel Peace Prize, or they going to give me the damn Nobel War Prize?
I think the best propaganda thing that was going on while Trump was doing his whole campaigning, I think one of the best things was that QAnon. That QAnon thing was global, and on that QAnon, they also highlighted the Pillopedia symbols through that QAnon. I thought that was a really good play by the establishment, because it's such a mind-boggling thing going on, because there was a lot of falsehoods, but there was a lot of truth in it. So it threw everyone for a loop. I think that was one of the best plays. That QAnon thing.
When it comes to this man, he went from lies to more lies, bro. Can you imagine, bro? You know how much gas costs. You know how much meat costs. You know how much eggs cost. You know everything that's going on and where you at in the society you're living in. And somebody come before you and tell you it's not going on, things are better. I don't understand why, it's terrible to lie to someone who knows the truth, who already know what you're about to say. Like if you go to the grocery store and eggs is high as hell, gas is high as hell, electricity bill is high as hell. All these things that he campaigned on to make better, he did the total opposite of everything he said he'll do. He did nothing that he said he would do. He did the total opposite of every single thing he said he'd do. Somebody being that incompetent.
Brother Nasir, you just made me think of the gas prices. Because when Biden came in, gas prices went to the roof. Now Trump's in, gas prices are still rising. And I was just sitting here, and I like to me, I think Trump is being ordered to do what you're supposed to do.
I mean,
do you understand what I'm saying?
He's a sock puppet and a string puppet. Yes, he is.
I'm looking at this whole thing here, what we're dealing with, and you know, and I'm also, as you're playing these videos, right? Like solutions are are coming in through my head of how we're going to fix this, you know. And I'm not going to say it on here, but I'm hearing the solutions to a lot of the problems we have here.
But you know what, though, bro? I wouldn't even necessarily. Let's say if I got the office, this is unfixable, brother, because this right here that we're in now is not justifying his existence.
Yeah.
It's not justifying. It's not justifying being here. It never has, you know, in my sentiment, you know, based on, you know, my people's sojourn here in the United States. I mean, the establishment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not justifying being here.
Well, I've asked a lot of people, you know, on these live channels, you know, even people around in my neighborhood that I consider, okay, you're somewhat intelligent or smart. And everyone has told me this answer. And when I asked them, I said, hey, if we flush everything out and replace them with really good, decent people that can never be bought and never be swayed, and everyone is saying, no, it still won't work. We got to get away with it. We got to throw it out. And it's, you know, to really think about, you know, the beginning stages of how this thing got started, you know, where brothers were involved in this.
Let me tell you, bro. You know, it's a system. And if it's a system and it's working according to how it was designed to run, it's the system. You have to. The system can't be fixed. It has to be destroyed.
Yeah,
it's a system.
Yeah.
So you know, if you get in the system, let's say if you get in the system, you will be conducting business as usual, or things will happen. You can't get in and say, well, see that's the thing with Donald Trump. He got in thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But he has to stay in some type of power now, because if the minute he's not in some type of power, he probably gonna be the first president go to damn jail, bro. Probably gonna be the first president go to jail, and Cash Patel's going to jail. I don't understand how anybody could ruin their credibility and ruin their career committing crimes for this dude. So many people just outright committing crimes for this dude, and he's obviously making them think that he can protect them from being brought to justice. But I'm gonna tell you this: whether it's the people of the United States bringing him to justice or not, they will be brought to justice, because you know, karma is a motherfucker, bro.
Man,
The natural laws of justice gonna bring them to justice, bro. The natural laws of justice.
Yeah.
Gonna bring them to justice.
Yeah.
They will be brought to justice.
Yeah. And Brother Nasir, you know, and you're absolutely right. Look, karma don't miss, man. You know, and I'm not in charge of karma like that. You know, and I'm, you know, as the philosophy goes, you know, you can only control yourself. You can't try to control someone else. So, you know, as these higher ups, they're making these decisions in this period that we're in. It's very dangerous now for them. It's highly dangerous that these choices that they are making, you know, have, when I say consequences, and I'm not talking about consequences of the past now. I'm talking about this can come instantly. You know
I mean,
saying?
yeah, I get future perfect tense, you know what I'm saying? Right now, you know, but a lot of these people are bounded and binded, because they're again, you got the string puppet, you got the sock puppet. String puppet makes moves, does whatever they're told to do, sock puppet. They say what they say need to be said. Even if they're a sock puppet who doesn't say anything, who withhold evidence, you know what I'm saying, and keep people from being brought to justice. This is what, you know, Kash Patel is doing. He's just sitting there not answering any question. Can you imagine, brother, being in a deposition? You're in Congress and they're questioning you and you refusing to answer a question. You're not even answering the question. You're saying everything besides the answer to the damn question. And that's why I say Democrats are so goddamn spineless, bro. Republicans are stupid. Democrats are spineless. So why would you make a choice, that type of choice? You either go with the stupid people or you go with the spineless people. They're spineless. Democrats are spineless because if I'm a congressman and you don't answer my questions, you're going to be held in contempt of Congress. If I'm a congressman,
yeah,
you're going to answer my question or you're going to be back there.
Yeah.
The Democrats don't attempt to exercise no power. I could never be a Democrat or a Republican. I could never be a jackass or an elephant, bro.
You know, I just couldn't. I couldn't play this game. I really couldn't. You know, it doesn't match my personality at all. Right? Right? Have to be two-faced all the time. No. That's I can't do that. And it's just really dirty, and it kind of like stains your soul because you're doing all of the behind the back treachery, backstab. Do you know what I mean? It's a game that I can't deal with.
I can't play it, brother.
No.
Kash Patel met a soldier. Ted Lieu is not an ordinary politician. Democratic congressman representing California, yes. But before that, he was a JAG officer in the Air Force, a military lawyer who dealt with every kind of case for years, from war crimes to espionage trials, someone who knows interrogation techniques, someone who can identify inconsistencies in seconds. You learn something in military courts that civilian lawyers never quite master. People follow certain patterns when they provide evasive answers. They deflect questions with other questions. They focus on irrelevant details but miss the big picture entirely. Ted Lieu knows these patterns. He has seen them in terrorists, in double agents, in corrupt officers who thought they were smarter than the system. And today, in the congressional chamber, he used his entire 2 decades of experience against FBI Director Kash Patel. The Epstein files were on the table again, but this time, something different happened. Lieu didn't ask the questions other members of Congress were asking. He came from a completely different angle. He struck from unexpected places. And he caught Patel completely unprepared for what was about to unfold. His first words changed the entire room. Director Patel, I am a former military lawyer. I've conducted hundreds of interrogations throughout my career. I've questioned war criminals, spies, and traitors. And let me tell you this right now. The answers you've given so far today perfectly match the behavioral patterns of someone who is actively hiding something. The same techniques, the same defensive postures, the same body language. I've seen it all before. Patel tried to object, his hand raising slightly from the witness table. Lieu raised his own hand, cutting him off with military precision. I have no questions at the moment, Director. I am simply sharing my professional observation as someone trained to identify patterns. My questions will be coming shortly, and I expect clear, direct answers to each one. Not summaries, not deflections, not bureaucratic responses, clear answers. But what?
That's all Kash Patel do. He deflects when you ask him a question. He will not, I've never seen him answer a question directly, anyone who's ever asked him. And I know he's nervous around Ted Lieu because Ted Lieu is too experienced when it comes to interrogations and depositions. Too experienced. You can't just say anything and deflect. He's going to know you're doing it, and he's going to watch your language also. Going to watch your language. He's going to watch your moves. Saying your body language. He's going to watch that. And based on that, he's going to tell whether or not you're not being truthful. You're being deceitful. And not only that, you can look at Kash Patel. You can see the reluctancy and the deceit in his face. He's not good at hiding those things. He's not at all. He's deceptive, but he's not good at it. You know when he's deceptive. So he's not good at it. When you know somebody's being deceptive, that means they're not good at it. That's just them.
Quick question, Brother Nasir, before you
What
push play.
nobody understood yet, this wasn't another congressional.
Yes, sir.
Now is that an AI robot giving us the news right here?
I don't know if it's an AI robot or not. When I seen this, I saved it. I don't know. I can't stand because I thought it's going to be an actual deposition. I don't like when people pause and give a narrative instead of it be actual, because if it's an actual, this to me, this would be considered clickbait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This would be considered clickbait to me, because when you see this, you think it's the actual deposition or interrogation, because they do have. I've seen Ted Lieu really tie this dude in the corner when he's questioning him. I've seen it. What I can't understand is how or why. It's a better question. They're pausing it and giving it instead of letting Ted Lieu do it. They do this all the time. You see it all the time with police interaction. They'll say, well, this happened. It's not even written that this shit happened, because they just give it a narrative. Okay, if this is what happened on this videotape, why can't you just play it? Let us see it. Makes no sense. That's what you call clickbait. Now we're gonna move on. 50 insane facts about the Epstein files. I don't like when people pause and then just start talking and giving a narrative of what happened.
Hey, this is Josh, and here are the most insane facts about the Epstein files that nobody talks about. Number 50. The word cannibal appears 52 times in the Epstein files, with 6 mentions of cannibalism. One email from a redacted sender sparked online rumors. It references a restaurant called Cannibal and repeatedly mentions jerky, which some claim was a code word. Other files, however, contain far more explicit accusations about Epstein's activities. Number 49. One of the files implies that Epstein and his associates may have been involved in some kind of ritualistic sacrifice. The file in question revolves around an alleged interview between FBI officials and an anonymous man in 2019. The man claimed that he witnessed acts of sacrifice on board a yacht belonging to Epstein back in 2000. Although he provided no evidence, this remains one of the most deeply disturbing stories linked to the infamous sex trafficker. The files may be redacted, but what we do know is horrifying. Number 48. Numerous emails show Epstein asking women of different ages to send explicit photos and videos. Many appear nervous or distressed, trying to explain their fears. In one 2015 email, a woman tells him she's still a virgin and knows nothing about sex. Epstein ignores her and simply orders her to send an explicit selfie. Epstein's obsessions went far beyond emails. Number 47. Epstein installed numerous hidden cameras around his various properties. The sex trafficker asked one of his private pilots, Larry Vysotsky, to buy a number of motion-detected hidden cameras. Vysotsky later confirmed that he had purchased the cameras from a spy shop in Florida, adding, "It's amazing how small they are. They're the size of a thumbnail drive." Vysotsky also wrote that he had already begun installing the cameras inside Kleenex boxes, and that voyeurism extended to every corner of his twisted empire. Number 46. Epstein may have used the hidden cameras to capture compromising videos of high-profile figures. Around the same time he was installing them, he received an email saying, "Remember what we spoke about. If you want to put cameras in the house, It'll have to be very discreetly done. The Russians may come in handy. Many believe Epstein was secretly filming guests and possibly sending the footage to Russian intelligence to blackmail politicians and businessmen worldwide. And this was just the beginning. Number 45. Many of Epstein's emails remain mysterious due to redactions. One sent just a day after Donald Trump won the 2016 election states, "Dear..."
You notice when they said number 45, you see who they had on the camera? Number 45, and then they showed Trump. He was the 45th president.
"Dear Jeffrey, you are so intelligent and powerful men. Please tell me what is going to happen with Europe and Eastern Europe." Epstein issues a curt response, "It's okay." Even Hollywood's elite were caught in Epstein's disturbing web. Number 44. A so-called Oscar guru joked about giving Epstein a baby from Africa. Peggy Seal, a Hollywood insider known for arranging exclusive screenings and promoting Oscar contenders, was in contact with Epstein for years. In one 2009 email exchange while she was visiting Kenya, Siegel offers to bring a little baby back for you or two, boys or girls. And yet, no one in Hollywood publicly questioned that exchange. Epstein's boasts about power only scratched the surface of depravity. Number 43. Epstein claims to have direct ties to countless world leaders. In emails with businessmen, friends, and associates, he boasted about his powerful network across media, tech, and politics. In a 2018 exchange with former White House strategist Steve Bannon, Epstein even said, "There are many leaders of countries we can organize for you to have one-on-ones." He spoke as if arranging presidents was routine business. But Epstein wasn't just networking, he was building something far more sinister. Number 42. The former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, described Epstein as a collector of people. There are various emails involving Barak arranging dinner dates, meetings, and calls with Epstein. For the disgraced financier's 63rd birthday, Barak and his wife wrote him a letter highlighting his curiosity and the ability to know everything about everyone. And those words were prophetic. Number 41. Oscar-winning director Woody Allen's name appears over 7,000 times in the files. In the 2012 email, Paris with Woody Allen. The redacted correspondent then asks if they're headed to Les Pédophiles Convention. While Allen says no allegations of wrongdoing, emails show he had close ties to Epstein, including the financier helping Allen's daughter get into college. And the celebrity connections only grow more unexpected. Number 40. New Age guru Deepak Chopra appears in the Epstein files thousands of times. Records show he met Epstein repeatedly, attending intimate dinners at his New York home, and even invited him on a 2017 trip to Israel, asking him to bring his girls. Chopra has denied any wrongdoing and wrote a statement online expressing...
Like a lot of these islands and stuff, you know, these different nations, they're doing this. You know, when you see some of these, like Donald Trump, he has property in Dubai. Whenever he has property at, I guarantee you some corruption going on there, some type of corruption going on.
Most definitely. And, you know, just looking at different nations of people and how they treat, you know, young people. You know, you're not. I'm not surprised. You know,
Yeah.
especially when we're talking about some of the Arabs and some of my Asians here, the old school ones here. I'm not necessarily the new school people. I think most of the old school ways of being, you know, there's always the young is going to be around.
Yeah, it's terrible that a lot of these nations and to me, brother, they are all in cahoots.
Facts.
They're all in cahoots.
Facts.
Regret for his poor judgment. Even wellness icons aren't immune to his orbit. Number 39. Celebrity longevity guru Peter Attia also corresponded with Epstein. Their emails reveal explicit sexual discussions and a close relationship, with Attia admitting he goes into withdrawal if he doesn't see Epstein for too long. In a 2015 exchange with Atia, who has since apologized, he said, "The biggest problem with becoming friends with you? The life you lead is so outrageous, and yet I can't tell a soul." Epstein's connections weren't just contained to the US. Number 38. Epstein had numerous high-profile connections in the Middle East. One of his most famous contacts was Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, an Emirati businessman and the CEO of multinational logistics company DP World. In a 2013 email exchange, bin Sulayem tells Epstein that the Moldavian is not as attractive as the picture, while going on to add, "The Ukrainian is very beautiful." The emails themselves reveal a chilling side to Epstein. Number 37. Epstein was often incredibly blunt in his emails, even when discussing seemingly serious topics. In a 2019 email, Epstein criticizes a woman for getting distracted and not giving him enough attention while she rubbed his head and feet. In another message, Epstein wrote, "Are you okay? I loved the torture video." On multiple occasions, Epstein referred to women as it instead of she or her, showing that he saw them, especially females, as mere objects. That tone shows how normalized his behavior had become. Control wasn't optional inside Epstein's inner circle. More on that later. Number 36. Epstein set strict and bizarre rules for the staff at his Florida mansion to follow, which were listed in his household manual. The air conditioning in the main bedroom was supposed to be set to 60 degrees Fahrenheit at all times. There were also specific rules regarding the provision and placement of sex toys, but the mansion rules get even more sinister. Number 35. Epstein's mansion manual even specified that guns be kept in bedside drawers in the master bedroom. It also laid out strict, almost cult-like rules for how staff should act, speak, and behave around Epstein and his guests. But the most chilling part of the manual tells the staff to see nothing, hear nothing, say nothing, hinting at a dark culture of secrecy inside Epstein's mansion. Those rules weren't about comfort, they enforced control. Somehow, Epstein's tendrils reached the upper echelons of power.
See that string puppet? See the string puppet? String puppet?
Yeah, I see
the
it.
sock puppet. String
Yeah, I see
puppet. And what does that represent? That red, white, and blue with that represent the government, right?
Yep, that sure does. Uncle Sam himself.
Yep.
Number 34. Epstein's influence reached deep into the U.S. government. Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce, is among many officials who spoke with Epstein and visited his private island. 2012 emails show Lutnick and his family stopped there, with Lutnick later admitting he visited with his wife, 4 children, and their nannies, despite previously claiming he cut ties with Epstein in 2005. Despite all this, top officials kept meeting him, including the most powerful men in the world. Number 33. Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary under President Bill Clinton, also features in the files. Records show he attended several meetings and dinners with Epstein over the years. The two even exchanged jokes and criticisms of President Donald Trump, with Epstein telling Summers, "Your world does not understand how dumb he really is." Summers later admitted it was a misguided decision to stay in touch with Epstein after his conviction and has since resigned from.
What does that say about this society? If they realize how dumb he is and he holds the highest office in the land, what does that say about the people? Putting a person that dumb, you know, even though the office is a cesspool, and the bar is not high, but putting somebody that dumb.
Well, you know why this, it was the plan executed to dumb down the American population, which they did a very great job at that. Very great. You know, they took,
good answer, bro.
you know what I mean? Where the reading comprehension that's off the window. There's no more critical thinking. There's more Scantron tests so you can guess instead of showing your work. Like we can,
Yes,
so
no more
I'm not.
competence.
Yeah. So yeah, it's where we are right now.
Very good answer, brother.
Several roles. There was no professional arena off limits to the convicted sex trafficker. Number 32. Epstein also had ties to the sports world. The recently released files contain emails between the convicted sex trafficker and Steve Tisch, co-owner of the New York Giants football team. In emails, Tish asks Epstein about a woman he met at Epstein's house, wondering if she was a, quote, pro or a civilian. In other messages, Epstein claims to have a present for Tish, a supposedly exotic Tahitian woman he plans to introduce him to. And things get even more unbelievable. Number 31. Epstein tried to contact the Queen of England. Ahead of the 2011 Academy Awards, several of Epstein's associates reportedly tried to get Queen Elizabeth II to endorse future sex offender Harvey Weinstein's film, The King's Speech. Buckingham Palace resisted and the Queen didn't get involved. The movie went on to win multiple awards, including Best Picture. And that wasn't Epstein's only run-in with the British royal family. Number 30. In 2009, the former Duchess of York called Epstein the brother I have always wished for, after Epstein's initial for sexual abuse. In emails, Sarah Ferguson, the ex-wife of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, asks Epstein for £20,000 to cover rent after her business collapsed. She calls him a legend and adds, "I am at your service, just marry me." Europe's political elite were tangled in this too. Number 29. Another of Epstein's European associates was Miroslav Lajcak, former Slovakian foreign minister. In an October 2018 exchange, Epstein sent him a redacted image. Lajcak replied, "Why don't you invite me for these games? I would take the MI girl." Epstein responded, "Who wouldn't? You can have them both. I am not possessive," and they're sisters. Lajcak has since resigned as national security advisor, though he hasn't been officially accused of any wrongdoing. His interests, however, became even more bizarre. Number 28. Epstein reportedly traveled with a harem of women, and that was the exact term used by the British billionaire Richard Branson. In a 2013 email, Epstein thanked Branson for his hospitality and PR advice. Branson replied, "It was really nice to see Epstein and that he'd love to meet again, as long as you bring your harem." Branson later claimed the harem referred to 3 adult women Epstein traveled with. Number 27. Epstein was interested in the concept of time travel. In 2011, Epstein discussed exploring the biological consequences of time travel with Harvard professor Martin Nowak. Years later, he emailed Yale professor David Galarenter about new experiences that allow him to travel to the past. And his personal life raises darker questions. Number 26. Epstein was seemingly searching for a fake wife at one point. In May 2016, Epstein received an email from a redacted sender asking if he still needed a fake wife. The sender claims to have found the perfect candidate, a 50-year-old Russian Jewish woman fluent in English who had lived and worked in New York City. Even tech billionaires weren't far from his reach. Number 25. Elon Musk exchanged emails with Epstein and his associates on a number of occasions between 2012 and 2013. One message, the tech boss seemed eager to visit Epstein's private island, asking, "What day/night will be the wildest party on your island?" It appears Musk never went as plans fell through. He later defended himself on X, claiming he declined repeated invitations to visit. It seems nowhere was off limits for Epstein. Number 24. Epstein was invited to Buckingham Palace. In 2010, Epstein emailed someone nicknamed the Duke, believed to be the disgraced former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He asked for private time in London, with Andrew allegedly replying, "Delighted for you to come here to BP," believed to mean Buckingham Palace. There's one name in the files that continues to shock. Number 23. Donald Trump is one of the most mentioned figures in the Epstein files. A 6-page FBI spreadsheet shows multiple people called the National Threat Operations Center, alleging the U.S. president was involved in wrongdoing against young women. Investigators at the time deemed the tips not credible, and the White House has since stated the allegations are false and unfounded. But the island itself hides darker mysteries. Number 22. There was a trapdoor on Epstein's home island that led directly into water. A picture from the files shows the open door with rusty handholds leading down into a pool of dark water beneath. Some fear this door led directly into the sea and could have been used for nefarious purposes, from punishment to ritualistic sacrifice. Fact checkers suggest it might have simply been for water collection and filtration. No official explanation has ever fully settled the debate. Could Epstein have been privy to national secrets? Number 21. A UK government official leaked confidential information to Epstein. Former U.S. Ambassador Peter Mandelson reportedly forwarded marketing-sensitive information to Epstein in 2009 while serving in the British government, showing the billionaire's global influence. Mandelson has since been fired from his ambassador role and as of February 2026 is under investigation by UK authorities. It seems that money was one of his most powerful weapons. Number 20. Epstein regularly sent huge sums of money to associates around the world. There are countless examples throughout the files of the financier paying for first-class flights, college
Tell you,
tuition
whoever
fees,
did
and
this compilation of information, I don't necessarily rock with the pictures, but the information is good.
Show is. I'm writing down questions too. You can keep going.
Yes, sir.
helping out with other bills and expenses for everyone, including the former Duchess of York to Dr. Oz. Given that he was worth around $600 million at the time of his death, Epstein clearly had no problem splashing the cash to earn favors and expand his influence. Throughout the files, one word keeps appearing disturbingly often, and it's not what you would expect. Number 19. The word whoops shows up more than 400 times in the Epstein files. Epstein used this word in bizarre and disturbing ways. In one email exchange, he replies whoops after the sender writes that they're giving him permission to kill someone who has lied to them. Epstein also writes whoops when he learns of the alleged assault of a young woman and when he hears the news that Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s second wife was found dead. Even future royalty exchanged friendly messages. Number 18. Epstein had close ties to the Queen of Norway. There are numerous email exchanges between the sex trafficker and Norwegian crown prince.
Didn't know that Robert F. Kennedy's wife was found dead. Ex-wife was found dead.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's kind of strange, and all of a sudden he's cozying up to Donald Trump.
I didn't know that.
Kind of strange because at one time he wasn't. At one time he was very critical of Donald Trump. Then all of a sudden he cozied up to him. Now he's in his administration. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Very interesting, brother.
Princess Mette-Marit, dated between 2011 and 2014. In those messages, the princess calls Epstein soft-hearted, a sweetheart, and very charming. She also exchanged messages with Epstein about what he labeled as a wife hunt in Paris, telling him that Scandinavian women are better wife material. Epstein had power and money, but where did his wealth go after he died? Number 17. Epstein left tens of millions of dollars to dozens of associates. One of the documents in the Epstein files was the 1953 trust, in which the pedophile lists the various people he wanted to pass his wealth on to. While many of the names in the document have been redacted, several have been revealed to the public. They include Epstein's longtime lawyer, Darren Indyke, and his accountant, Richard Kahn. Other beneficiaries include Epstein's pilots, his brother, children of political figures, and several individuals about whom very little is known. And it gets even more shocking. Number 16. The biggest of Epstein's beneficiaries listed in the 1953 trust is Karina Shuliak. Epstein left nearly all his real estate, a diamond ring, and a collection of loose diamonds, $50 million in cash, and another $50 million in an annuity to be paid over the coming years. The scale of that inheritance stunned even the investigators. Shuliak, believed to be Epstein's girlfriend, was reportedly the last person to call him shortly before his 2019 prison death. And the worst is still yet to come. Number 15. Epstein tried to meet with the Russian President Vladimir Putin, whose name appears over 1,000 times in the files. Between 2013 and 2018, he repeatedly asked friends to arrange a face-to-face meeting and even sought a Russian visa, though it's unclear if the two ever actually met. Secretive codes could reveal the dark side of Epstein's world. Number 14. There are hundreds of references to pizza in the files. In fact, the word pizza originally appeared more than 900 times in the files, though dozens of references have since been removed. Several people also mentioned peat and grape soda in the same message or sentence. In 2018, an Epstein associate asks, "This is better than a Chinese cookie. Let's go for a pizza and grape soda again." Those references appear repeatedly, often in unusual contexts. Many commenters believe that those might be code words used by Epstein and his inner circle to refer to their nefarious activities. His plans for children grow even darker. Number 13. Ghislaine Maxwell may have attempted to have a baby with Epstein. In an email from 2007, around the time when Maxwell claimed she had left Epstein's orbit and ended any romantic involvement with him, she wrote detailed instructions for Epstein to provide a sperm sample, suggesting that the two were planning some sort of shared fertility procedure. This ties in with the statements from Epstein's victim, Virginia Giuffre, who claimed in her memoir that Epstein and Maxwell intended to use her as a surrogate for their child. And that certainly wasn't Epstein's only attempt at becoming a father. Number 12. Epstein may have had at least one secret child. There are numerous hints and references to Epstein's potential offspring throughout the files, including a message from former Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson. In 2011, Ferguson emailed Epstein to congratulate him on the birth of a child, writing, "Heard from the Duke that you've had a baby boy." But the story gets much uglier from there. Number 11. Another possible reference to an Epstein child appears in the diary of one alleged victim. In a journal entry, a young woman shared a pregnancy scan with coded messages, strongly implying that Epstein had impregnated her. Even more disturbingly, she goes on to state that her newborn child was taken from her almost immediately after birth. If this is correct, it suggests something far more organized and disturbing, and the island holds physical symbols of secrecy. Number 10. Epstein had a bizarre temple-like building constructed at the highest point of his island. The building's exterior is decorated with blue and white stripes, with stone steps leading up to a grand set of double doors. Inside, the temple appears unfinished, with a pair of mattresses covered in yellow shrink wrap and scraps of wood on the floor. The ceiling, meanwhile, was decorated with a strange mural depicting the signs of the zodiac. Nobody seems to know why this structure was made or how it was used. Epstein's scientific obsessions were deeply disturbing. Number 9. Epstein was obsessed with genetics. It has long been known that the sex trafficker was fascinated with so-called transhumanism, or the idea of improving the human population through genetic engineering. But recent emails show just how fixated he was on this particular topic. In one message, Epstein discusses funding research to genetically modify embryos to produce children with more desirable traits, disturbingly calling them designer babies. The experiments he discussed get even stranger. Number 8. In other emails with high-profile scientists and entrepreneurs, Epstein discusses the possibility of using genetic engineering to increase female sex drives. He discussed this idea at length with former Stanford professor of human biology Nathan Wolfe on several occasions. The pair mused over the possibility of creating a kind of female Viagra and discussed studies linking sexual behavior and microbial diversity in women. And his beliefs reveal something deeply troubling. Number 7. Epstein's genetic obsession also involved deep-seated racist beliefs. In a 2016 email exchange with German cognitive scientist and former MIT professor Joshua Bach, Epstein showed an interest in the idea of genetically modifying black people in order to make them, quote, smarter. That same year, in emails to Noam Chomsky, Epstein doubled down, arguing that a set of genes used for working memory in black people could be found and adjusted to improve their intelligence. He even experimented on himself. Number 6. Epstein paid for special gene testing to extend his lifespan. In 2008, Epstein paid a senior doctor at Massachusetts General Hospital to sequence his genome and conduct personalized longevity studies, allegedly involving experimental gene editing that could have extended his life. The total cost for all projects would have come close to $200,000, though records only show Epstein paying an initial $2,000. But his ultimate plan was far more extreme. Number 5. Epstein had a secret scheme to spread his DNA. He reportedly planned to impregnate up to 20 women at a time at his New Mexico ranch, calling it a baby factory. He shared these intentions with high-profile businessmen and scientists. There's no evidence that he ever carried out the plan, but the very fact that he thought of it shows the depths of his depravity. Epstein's homes reflected his dark, twisted thoughts. Epstein was obsessed with explicit artwork and imagery. Many of the photos released of his various properties depict countless pictures, paintings, photographs, and other depictions of naked women. A picture of his New York desk has a framed photo of a scantily clad woman lying on a bed, while a mural in one of his bedrooms depicts a naked figure prancing around while demonic figures watch on. Some of Epstein's artworks, however, are much
sinister and demonic, bro. This shit is evil.
This is wild, Joe. I got some stuff after this.
Number 3. Terrifying themed artwork and furniture was found throughout Epstein's
All right, my brother.
New York home. Pictures released among the Epstein files reveal bizarre and downright disturbing images used to decorate the sex trafficker's New York City apartment. There was a strange life-size statue of a young man sitting on a bench, for example, but the most disturbing piece was a table in one of the hallways, adorned with statues of 2 crying babies, which seemed to be stuck to the table's legs. But even Epstein's close friends questioned who he really was. Number 2. Steve Bannon implied that Epstein might be the devil. In a video interview released as part of the files, Bannon, Donald Trump's former strategist and close advisor, asks Epstein if he believes he is the devil himself. Epstein smirks before answering, "No, but I'm a good mirror." Bannon then pushes him for a proper answer, adding that he has all the attributes of the devil. In response, Epstein states, "The devil scares me." And just before the end, everything shifted. Number 1. Epstein was reportedly ready to cooperate with the FBI shortly before his death. Less than 2 weeks before he reportedly died in prison in August 2019, Epstein's lawyers met with Manhattan federal prosecutors to discuss the possibility of him cooperating with the authorities. An FBI document mentions discussions in very general terms about a possible resolution to the Epstein case, suggesting he might finally have been ready to reveal the truth about his illegal activities. This fuels the long-running theory that powerful people may have killed him to silence what he knew. Now,
Yeah, I think they did kill him to silence what he knew.
I mean, when you have that, when you have a lot of resources at your disposal, a lot of things can be possible. And one of the things that, that I wrote down, like the enhancing female sex drive, that made me think of Matrix 2, the Merovingian guy, where that scene where there was Morpheus, Neo, and Trinity went to go see him, and that female ate the cake.
Okay.
Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
And it seemed like he was trying to produce that. And I think he absolutely achieved that. Now, what was very bothering, Brother Nasir, the time travel with the Harvard.
I knew that was going to catch your attention when I seen it.
Like, whoa. When from what I've heard, there was it was a brother scientist or physicist that figured out time travel.
Bro, not for nothing. You could time travel if you want to go like that. Let's say right now, 12 o'clock. If I'm able to go from New Jersey to California, I'm flying into yesterday, brother.
Yeah.
If I leave here at 12 o'clock and it's not 12 o'clock in California, I'm flying into yesterday, or you could be flying into tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're 3 hours back. Because you're 3 hours back. Right now, like when we wake up tomorrow morning, it's gonna be damn near like the day is gonna be almost gone in other countries.
Yeah.
It'll be tomorrow afternoon when we get up tomorrow morning. Well, at least when I get up tomorrow morning, because it's 12 midnight here, it's the next day, and you're still at yesterday.
Yeah.
You'll still be in yesterday.
And it seems like so we have the Epsteiner is trying to, I don't want to say have a God complex, because the time travel guy, because you can look at deja vus as time travel, right? So you're trying to be this God kind of figure in a way, but whatever, all right? And the other one, and this is my last one, the emails to the British Crown or the Queen and the governor that resigned and the Norway Queen, like why would these individuals? I mean, I understand partying, but partying the Steiner way, and the royal family's doing this, and with all the names that are redacted.
But I don't think this. I think he's the latest exponent of this thing and this type of behavior, but I don't think he's the origin of this, brother.
Oh no, not nowhere. Listen, nowhere near it.
He's not the origin of this. He's just one of the latest exponents, because it goes on now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's as far as I know, brother, and my sentiment is this been going on for so long. It's been going on for
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah.
Pizzagate, they just changed it. They just changed the name. They're not changing what they're doing. They're changing how they're doing it. They're changing the language. They're changing the code words. But and what's crazy about this? These are the same people who write laws, who send FBI and other federal agencies to arrest people who do this on a lower level than they do. To make it seem like they're doing something. Like they'll arrest somebody in Newark or somebody in Pennsylvania, somebody out west, to make it seem like that they're doing something about this behavior, when the government itself, so-called elites, are doing this on a much higher and sinister level. They have islands where they fly to engage in this behavior. Several islands. It's not just Epstein Island. I mean, you can go to islands out in the Middle East and get the same thing. We all know that rabbis, they go and seek asylum in Israel. When they're caught, they'll fly to Israel and seek asylum.
Yeah.
And because that's where they at, nobody can go and extradite them back to the United States and bring them to justice.
Right. Right.
What happens
and then we got the clergymen that will go to Vatican City outside of everyone's jurisdiction.
Exactly. And you explained it last week, with your presentation.
Yeah.
They transfer them, and we all know they transfer them. And either they transfer them or they just completely cover it up.
Yeah, and I learned probably like 2 years ago, one of their, not only are they using the tunnel systems that are underground all around the world, they are also, for transportation, using submarines. I was like, yo, y'all really serious about y'all game out here.
It's an underground. It's a literal underground organization, brother.
Yeah.
Literal underground.
Literal, right?
Organization, and it's organized. So it's that's why I can't stand these hypocrites when they speak about organized crime and putting RICO charges on the little dude, and when they do it on a much higher level.
Yeah.
Like they're doing something.
Yeah.
Crime. The biggest criminals are the ones who write the damn laws, and the ones who call themselves being, the ones in the executive branch of government.
Yeah.
You got judicial, you got legislative, and then you got executive. Those are the branches of government. And every last one of them crooked.
Yeah.
On all levels, judicial, legislative, and executive, they all crooked.
Yeah.
None of them do things or like they say they are. None of them. All crooked.
That's a triple double factual statement right there. All day.
Well, brother, I appreciate you coming through. We're gonna end this right here.
Oh, anytime, brother. Anytime, brother. I love the topic for today, because overall, these Epstein files are a distraction, like you said earlier, and I'm going to say it too. When you were 20 or 19, and for me, it was 20 years ago, we already knew this is happening. Didn't have Epstein's name on it, but we already knew this was taking place. So now that it's here, it's almost like we've already moved on from this topic. We're on to different things. You know what I mean? We're on to different topics and subjects and have solutions. So yeah, this is a great job, Brother Nasir, on today.
Appreciate it, brother. Let me take this off here. Let me see. Let me hide this. Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. Truly appreciate it. But I want to thank everybody for coming through, hanging out with the brother. And my brother Looney Tunes, Big Dog Philly OG, Shawanda Williams, Milestone Thoughts, The Wingy Skates. Thank you all for joining. Thank the missus for joining. She don't comment, but she watch. She's always watching. She just don't comment. Not in the chat anyway. She'll tell me how I did when I come in the room, brother.
Hi, Miss James.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
my brother,
yeah.
Salute to you, and I appreciate you coming through, hanging out with me this evening, brother.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Yes, sir. Until next time, this is the Enemies Public. As a matter of fact, before I go, let me cam up and do a quick promo, brother, before we leave. Yeah. We're gonna do a quick promo. Get your copy of Fire. Amazon. Go to Amazon. Angela King James. Get your copy of Fire. Angela King James. Go to Books. Get your copy of Fire. Very good read. Thought-provoking moments. A lot of fun. A lot of action. There's action in this book. It's a very good read. I guarantee it. And get your copy of Fire, Book 2, The Finale. Same author, Angela King James. Get your copy. Go to Amazon. Go to Books, Angela King James. Get your copy of Fire, Book 2, The Finale. In order to understand what's going on here, you got to get the first book. So make sure you get your copy of Fire, Book 2, The Finale, and the original copy of Fire. And again, brother, I appreciate you for coming through and hanging out with me and doing this stream. Until next time, this is the Enemies Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Share the stream. Share the stream, brothers and sisters. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Peace.
Production. Giving out instructions. Hey. I just keep it intact. This is a fact, right and exact. I won't step back. Admiration is the feeling that inspires your brain to make you gain self-knowledge. Not go insane.